Luke. Hi, Thomas. We're having a sit-down talk about one of the real dominant issues at this year's VivaTech show. Artificial intelligence, of course, it raises so many ethical questions about, and also the questions about the future of employment here at VivaTech. We're joined by Gina Neff. Thank you very much for joining us today. You lead research on the impact of technological change on work and workplaces. You're a thought leader and an experienced mentor and teacher striving to revamp graduate-level education at the University of Cambridge, but you're actually from Kentucky originally. Tell us more how you think what the future holds for artificial intelligence. How do we guarantee responsible AI in the workplace in future?
There's a lot of conversation happening right now about what is going to happen with our future and what AI will do to us. We need to remember that these are challenges and problems that are both technical and social. So we need a lot of different tools coming to this problem, both from research, industry, government, and yes, everyday citizens, people thinking about what we need to do to ensure that we have good digital futures. The work that we're doing at Cambridge is under the umbrella of technology and democracy. How do we bring participation in these vital questions and choices that help shape how we go forward with challenges from will our information environments be overloaded with artificially generated mis and disinformation? Will our information environments, will AI literally contribute to climate change from the ever expansion of data centers? Will the kinds of tools that we're building today actually support good jobs and good futures? Those are the kinds of questions that can't be left simply to engineers, that we need more people involved in participating in how we set the direction forward for our world.
So if it's not just up to engineers, who should be the policymakers? Should it be politicians that guide those questions here in Europe and further afield in the UK, in the US, in Asia?
Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, politicians have a lot of capacity that they need strengthened as well. So right now, we need all hands on deck. That's the metaphor I'm using, where we're cooperating and collaborating to ensure that different kinds of skills and different kinds of expertise come to the problem. Just today, we launched a £30 million initiative called Responsible AI UK. This was announced by the Secretary of State for the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology in the UK. And the idea is basically that we can create the networks that help strengthen that capacity of society for guiding how we want responsible AI development to basically ensure that AI powers benefits for everyone. So this is not just a UK initiative. We're hoping to connect with people working on responsible AI initiatives and to really make sure that these tools work for the best for the future.
So, to a certain extent, we're at a turning point. This is one of the biggest changes to the way humans work since the Industrial Revolution. To what extent would you say the challenges can be positive and can bring benefits to humanity, or they really are a worry for journalists such as myself? We could be out of a job soon, but not just journalists, but a whole array of trades could find themselves out of work.
Listen, some of the best economic forecasting that we have suggests that there'll be a net gain of employment with it. There'll be more jobs created than jobs lost. That doesn't help if you have one of the jobs that's been lost. So we have a lot of work to do to help people through that transition. Some of the best estimates we have also suggest that 80% of us will see the tasks in our jobs change. So as a journalist, there may be changes that you have in your job, changes to things that you don't like doing or are boring that AI working in the background can. But the very highly skilled and technical parts of our jobs, and the jobs that are about the parts that are about creativity, that are about empathy, that are about connection, those parts of work may actually be freed up to have more of that from maybe answering our emails or doing PowerPoints.
VivaTech here, of course, based here in France, here in Paris. We're in the European Union. There's a great deal of talk in Brussels, the European Parliament, about increasing legislation, increasing protection in regard to artificial intelligence. We're having Emmanuel Macron speaking today here at VivaTech. Do you think that the European Union, maybe France, they're being too cautious, or do you think that that can be a benefit for the evolution of AI in the workplace?
Well, I think the European Union has put their money where their mouth is. That just yesterday I was speaking at a conference in Brussels with the European Commission on a new project that I'm a part of called AI for Trust. And the idea behind that project is, can we create an early warning system for mis and disinformation that is multilingual, because of course in the EU we need to make sure that these tools work for multiple EU languages. That's multi-channel, meaning it can work across different social media platforms and sites, and is multimodal, meaning it can help with mis and disinformation from video, from audio, from text. And those are really hard technical problems. But getting those problems solved are also going to need policy solutions. We're going to need to make a human in the loop capacity, and that we're building things in ways that are sensitive to the actual context. So if we're talking about mis and disinformation, we better have journalists in the room helping us build those tools, and that's what that project is doing. So I think the EU has taken a approach about both the regulatory landscape, but also in terms of developing research and innovation initiatives that help get on the front foot for being able to answer some of the thorniest challenges that we face from AI.
But do you get the impression that the EU, in its desire to impose extra regulation, do you realistically think that other markets will follow where the EU leads on that, or is the EU handicapping itself to a certain extent?
So there are many ways in which the EU is positioning itself as a leader in this space in terms of pushing for responsible AI and technology development. And in that sense, it tells the world, if you want to do business in the EU, you have to meet the standards that are here. Companies will rise to that challenge creatively and with innovation and with development if they know that those guardrails and those frameworks are clear and present those opportunities for working in the EU market. So I actually think it can be a spark for innovation, not the opposite.
Gina Neff, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. I think we could both talk about that for a great deal of time, but that's all we've got time for. That was Gina Neff of the University of Cambridge talking about one of the key issues here at VivaTech, artificial intelligence. Back over to you in the studio, Thomas.